ring on it, season 3, episode 8, and choo-choo! All aboard this train, all aboard this train. And the first stop we making a stop at is going to be the Kiddie Train Depot. And the first passengers we about to pick up are Otis and Charlana. All aboard, Otis and Charlana. We got your first class seats waiting for you aboard this petty ass train you riding. The more I watch Charlana and Otis, the more I realize actually how much they are alike. I know some of y'all don't see it, but these two, they peas in a pod. You can tell both of these people have grown up and have experienced life getting a lot of attention. They both really good looking people. And I'm telling you, out here in the world, good looking people get a lot of attention and people overlook things on them. So they tend to get their way a lot more than other people. They both good looking people, let's be honest. And when they come together, the problem is because both of them are used to getting attention and getting their way, they butt heads. They both waiting for each other to give them their way. That's the problem. They both want the pedestal. They both want to be on top. And every time one gets on top, the other one comes, knocks them off. They both the same. They both need the limelight, the spotlight, all the attention. They need people adoring them and praising them and all the other kind of stuff. They two peas in the pod. This is why they're so petty and so tit for tat. Because the minute one of them gets a little lead on the other one, they got to knock each other down. That's what it looks like when you always want to be the lead, always want to be on top, always want to be the bright light. Anytime someone comes and threatens your position, you got to say something or do something to knock them back off that pedestal so you can stand up there. And the thing about these two is they know each other's hot buttons. First of all, Charlana knows that Otis is jealous, and she uses it at every opportunity when she wants to get at Otis. She does something to try to make him jealous. Same thing, the other thing with what Otis knows about Charlana, he likes to pick it at calling her dumb, or she's like a childlike, or she's naive. When he wants to pick at her, that's the spot he goes for. If you listen to all their conversations, it's all about what they want. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. I don't even know why Dr. Nicole gave them this assignment. This was actually the wrong assignment to give them. They really need an assignment on what to give to each other. Not give me this, give me that, give me this. Because that's where they're actually stuck. They're stuck at gimme, 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 and I'm not going to give anything to you until you give something to me. That's where they're stuck. They actually need to get into another mode where they're talking about giving to each other. That's the spark that needs to be lit in between these two. What are you gonna give? Single life is all about feeding yourself. That's what you do when you're out in the world, when you're single. But once you're looking at getting married, just like when women move to motherhood, once you're looking at getting married, men and women, now it's about how do you give to your partner? This is where they're stuck. They're looking at this relationship on what can they get out of a relationship? What do I need? What do I want? That's not how it's supposed to begin. It's supposed to begin, what can I give? And as long as you're giving to each other, in return, you'll still get what you want as well. But it starts with giving. It starts with two people coming to the table and saying, this is what I'm offering you. Not this is what I want. Sometimes in relationships, when you have a giver and you have a person who's a receiver, the giver will always go first. So then the one person is able to receive first. But when you have two people who want to receive first, and that's Charlana and Otis, who's going to go first? Who's going to go first? And that's the problem. Neither one of them wants to go first. I know everybody thinks the first shot fired was when Otis said to Charlana, maybe he thinks you're weak, but that wasn't the first shot, people. The first shot was when Charlana started talking about, yeah, he said he want to take me from my man. Boom! That was the first shot. Because what Charlana knows is Otis is a jealous man. And when she said that, she knew that that would get that jealousy to rise up in him. And then you know what he did? He snapped back and he said, oh yeah, I guess he might want you because he thinks you weak. And that was his shot. He thinks you weak and dumb and easily persuade. You see what I'm saying? Charlana might have just slapped Otis with that little statement about, oh, he wants to take me from my man. But no, hey, it was the first shot fired. And then you know what? Otis did come back. He came back with a much heavier punch and it was boom. And now Charlana wants to call foul. Girl, You actually started this one. You're right. Did Otis come back with a heavier punch? He sure did. But this is the problem these two have. This is what they do all day long. They sit around and trigger each other because what they're really upset is the other person isn't giving them what they want, but neither one of them are willing to go first in the giving category. They all want to receive first. So they sit around talking about what they want. Even when Charlotta was saying what she wants from the exercise, she wants someone to encourage her. She wants someone to lift her up. She wants someone who speaks positively. All those are wonderful things to want. And I think she deserves that. And anyone's going to want that in a relationship. But as soon as she said that, you know what old boy went to? Talking about what he wants. Then he started questioning her definition of quality time as if she's so dumb she don't know what quality time is. Basically, he was saying, you don't even know the definition of quality time. And she was like, no, I know the definition of quality time, and it ain't Instagram. And then what's he talking about? Well, when I want quality time, you on Instagram too at midnight. Petty, tit for tat. And all they're still talking about is who goes first. Who goes first? I don't even know if Dr. Nicole is going to be able to help these two because honestly, I think that Otis has tuned out Dr. Nicole. I think Otis is going to need a male therapist because I think he's going to view Dr. Nicole and all the other women when they were telling him that he did punch. He basically did punch Charlana with that comment. He didn't believe the women. He's going to need a man to tell him, listen, old school men know one thing about how you get a woman, and that is through her ears. Access to her vajayjay comes through her ears. And an old school man needs to teach Otis this, that listen, the way you get is to give. He thinks he needs to receive first, and then after he receives, he'll give. No, he also needs to give first. This is the problem with these two. They're so concentrated on what they want, they're not even thinking about what they need to give. An old school man would tell Otis, listen, once you give, you'll get what you want. And that's what these two need to be taught. Once you give and you have that agreement between the two, you'll get what you want. But when you have selfish people that are all about giving and that's all they're focusing on, all they're concentrating on is on what you've given to me. And then they decide, okay, after I get all this, then I'll give to you. That's a bad deal. But this train is moving on, and we're moving on to the next stop. And the next stop is the Kiddie Train depot. And we're about to pick up Alfonso and Shay. Because we in the kiddie section of Disneyland right here. Because if Shay thinks that this is sustainable, that you're going to be sitting down every single woman that your man comes in contact with, and you're going to be running down the rules as if he's a 16-year-old going out on his first date, you are planning a life of misery. And not only a life of misery, it's so unrealistic. This man works for Rick Ross. Do you know how many Instagram hoes and chicks are around Rick Ross and places they go? It's full of women. And she thinks she's worried about this one girl with these short shorts on. Let me tell you, when he's out with Rick Ross and they're in these clubs and all these concerts, I'm telling you, it's 10 times worse than those shorts that girl has on. So if you have a problem with those girl shorts and your husband or man seeing it, you not built for the life that Alfonso runs in, Shay. You're going to have to be a different woman to stomp in that ground that he runs in. That whole world is about Instagram, taking selfies, taking hugs, running up on people. That's that whole entertainment world, girl. That's like saying, you know what, I want to live on the beach, but I don't like sand. Well, then you don't need to live on the beach. Shay thinks that her only problem is that mother and that baby mama. That's not her only problem. Her problem is, just like Dr. Nicole says, if you can't trust him out in the world to make the decisions that are going to be best for you and him, then you need to let it go. You cannot babysit him at every event all the time, talking about, and when I call, he picks up. How he gonna pick up the phone when he in a concert and the ears are getting blown out? How you gonna picking up the phone in a club? This is unrealistic expectations for the life that Alfonso leads. It really is. I don't know what Shay's gonna do. I really don't know how she's ever gonna become secure with Alfonso when I'm sure the life he leads is surrounded by women. And he talk about he like all natural women and all this other kind of stuff, maybe because he's surrounded by women with a lot of fake booty, fake boobs, fake everything else. I don't know, Shay, but you got a dilemma on your hand. Just like I told Alfonso last episode, he gonna either have to leave or cleave. Is he gonna leave his mama and baby mama or whatever and cleave to Shay? Shay is gonna have to realize she gonna either have to learn how to trust her man out here in these streets, or she gonna need to leave him alone. Choo choo. This train is moving on, all aboard. Now we making the next stop, the next and final stop on this train, and this is gonna be the Money Train Depot, and we about to pick up Shorty and Kenny on this Money Train because have I missed something, or all the problem Shorty got with Kenny is that he ain't making enough money for her? Is there something else we missing besides that, besides the money situation? And when Kenny pointed out to her that, hey, you know what? You just started making more money than me. I didn't see Shorty refute that. Did y'all? Did you see her clap back and say, no, that's not true? I didn't hear that at all. So that part must be true. So maybe it is just like Kenny's been saying. We was happy all along, all this other type of times. Money wasn't an issue, but all of a sudden now money is an issue. I guess because like Kenny said, Shorty must have just started making some money or coming into some money, and all of a sudden now Kenny's money ain't good enough. She acts like she's always been at a higher level than Kenny, but to come to find out, this new level she talking about, she just came into this new level. But like Dr. Nicole said, she said this relationship is toxic. And you know what toxic means? Toxic means it's bad for both people. It ain't just bad for Shorty. It's bad for Kenny too. That's what toxic means. And you know what? I know this story is being spun out here that all of a sudden Shorty is afraid for her life. And this is why she came on this show to get away from Kenny. And she's on here to gather evidence so everybody knows how crazy and dangerous Kenny is so she can get away from him. Dr. Nicole said it right. Toxic on both ends, and they need to get away from each other. Because if you're really afraid for somebody, this is not what you do. I don't know where someone would advise that if you're afraid of somebody, you come onto a reality TV called Put a Ring on It and ask for somebody to put a ring on it. I don't know where that's some type of good advice. And I don't know where you would go and you would instigate fights and start all this type of banter and assertive talk with someone that you was afraid of. This don't sound like a person who's afraid. And I know Shorty ain't no damsel in distress because she been dropping down in my comments, making a lot of threats too. And I think she likes to fight, period. It doesn't matter who she's fighting. She likes to fight. I know a fighter when I see it. They don't walk away from a fight. And like Kenny said, she is a pit bull mixed with a chihuahua. She got a small little petite body, but she got the fight in her like a pit bull. And the one thing they talk about with pit bulls is they like to fight to their death. And you know what? That ain't always a good thing. Sometimes you got to learn how to walk away. And here Shorty is on this television show trying to sit in this ring with Kenny and fight like she's a pit bull. But what she really needs to do is she needs to walk away. See, pit bulls are dangerous. They'll kill a crying baby if you let them. That's why people don't leave their pit bulls alone with no kids. The only problem with a pit bull is when they come against a bigger and stronger dog. Shorty is obviously got way more fight in her than Kenny has. Let's be real. Kenny is coming off to me as silly. He's fun. He's outgoing. He's all these kind of things. Because, you know, Kenny keep me laughing. Kenny shot his shot at Dr. Nicole and had me cracking up. But Shorty, she going for your neck. She going to try to destroy you and she going to try to kill you. But she better realize everybody out here ain't a chihuahua. Everybody out here ain't going to lay down and take them punches like Kenny does. She going to come up against the wrong other dog. And she gonna have to be in that ring fighting to her death. And all this stuff talking about she don't need to say thank you and praise Kenny. Hell, I say thank you to a waitress who brings me a glass of water. I don't tell no waitress that's your job, that's the bare minimum to bring me water. She is so mean, so selfish, and so self-centered. I don't know how any man gonna want Shorty, period. When she started talking about that stuff, well, if I'm paying bills, I expect you to cook and clean. She sounded like a freaking slave master. Who the hell want to be living with Shorty talking like that? I don't even know anybody that would want to be up under someone who talks to them that way. You know, it's funny. I watched this other show, Married at First Sight, and everybody was talking about how the husband, Elijah Wan, was abusive towards his wife, Katina, the way he put her down, the way he talked to her. Where's the abusive conversation about Shorty? Is Shorty abusive? That's what I want to know, ladies. Is Shorty abusive? When Shorty started talking about I can do this all by myself, that's what you should do, Shorty. Do it all by yourself. That way you don't got to praise them. You ain't got to say thank you. You could do it all by yourself. This girl is not talking like she is some scared damsel in distress. This girl is puffing out her chest, beating her chest, and trying to stand over some dead bodies. People want to say Kenny was doing all that stalking and pulling bank records and looking in phones in order to abuse Kenny, but maybe he was doing it to protect himself. Anybody ever thought about that? Anybody ever thought about Shorty's the abuser and Kenny was the one gathering evidence to protect himself? Why are we assuming that Kenny is the worst one of the couple? Because right now, the evidence I see on this screen, I'm starting not to believe. I'm starting to believe that the things that Shorty is doing on camera with other people and the way she's talking, she the bully. She's the bully.